All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something today that could literally flip the script on how you handle your biggest frustrations. I mean, think about it. What if all those things that just drive you crazy are actually secret invitations for you to grow? Kind of wild, right? Well, let's get into it.
So I really want you to think about this question for a second. What if your triggers aren't here to hurt you? I know it sounds a little out there because we're so used to thinking of them as these attacks on our peace, right? But what if that whole way of looking at it is just wrong? What if there's a totally different reason they keep showing up?
Okay, so this slide really breaks it down. This is the big shift we're talking about. On the one hand, you've got the old view. Triggers are there to mess you up. We've all been there, right? But look at this new view. Triggers are there to help you expand. It's like they're not roadblocks at all. Instead, they're basically a question from the universe or from yourself asking, hey, you ready to expand? You ready to level up? It's a total game changer. And here's the absolute key to all of this. They are not random. You know, these frustrating moments, they're not just bad luck. They're signals, super specific signals actually, pointing right at something inside you that's ready for an upgrade. So if you keep running into the same wall, the same frustration over and over again, that's not a coincidence. That's a sign, for sure. So let's actually define what we mean by trigger in this context. It's your response to a repeating pattern in your life that needs to be resolved. Or, and I love this word from the source material, it needs to render. It's kind of like in a video game, you know? A level or a quest has to fully load or render before you can beat it and move on to the next thing. It's the same idea here.
Okay, let's make this super concrete with an example. Let's say you've got this pattern around money scarcity. Maybe you've got these thoughts running on a loop in the back of your mind like, I am scarce, or I never have enough money, or making money is just so hard, right? So with that pattern playing in the background, what happens when a bill comes in the mail? You get that jolt of anxiety, that tight feeling in your chest? That feeling, that's the trigger, and it's doing its job perfectly. It's signaling that deeper pattern. All right, so if these triggers are just signals and they're pointing to patterns that we need to deal with, the million-dollar question is, well, how do we actually do that? You know, how do we break the pattern? How do we stop this cycle from just repeating forever? Well, it turns out there's a pretty straightforward three-step process.
And here they are, the 3 steps to level up. Step 1 is just to bring awareness to it. That's it. Just notice when you're triggered. Notice the pattern, but without beating yourself up about it. Step 2, you gotta stop the old reaction. You have to consciously choose not to go down that same old road. You interrupt the program. And then step 3, and this one is the real secret sauce, you embody a new state.
So you're probably asking, what on earth does embody a new state even mean? Well, this quote just nails it. Abundance is a state of being. It's not about how much money you have in your account. Let's go back to that money scarcity example. This means you don't wait for $1 million to hit your bank account to feel abundant. No way. You decide to feel abundant right now, even if things are tight. You see, it's an internal job first. It's a choice you make inside, not something you wait for from the outside.
And this is where the magic really happens. Because when you actually embody that new state, whether it's abundance or peace or confidence, the old trigger just fades away. It doesn't have a job anymore. It doesn't need to render, to use that word again, because you've learned the lesson. You've basically shown your own system, hey, that old thing we used to freak out about, it's not a threat anymore. We're good.
And boom, just like that, you did it. You leveled up. You took on the challenge, you broke the pattern, and you literally expanded who you are. That's a huge win, a real moment of victory. But you know how it goes in any good game, right?
The game isn't over, and that's not a bad thing. Leveling up doesn't mean you've reached the final boss. It just means you're now strong enough for the next part of the adventure. You're always becoming a new version of yourself, which means new challenges will appear.
And this is what that journey looks like. Really, it's a cycle. You see it here. A new challenge appears, that's level 1. Then you address the trigger using those 3 steps, that's level 2. In doing that, you outgrow your old self, level 3. And what happens next? Well, a new challenge appears, a new level. It's not about going backward, it's a spiral upward. This is what progress feels like. So I want to leave you with this one last question to really think about. Look at your own life, right now. What's that one thing, that one recurring frustration that just keeps popping up? Whatever just came to your mind, that's not your enemy. That's not a problem. That's your invitation. So the only question left is, what is your next level?